yards, 1,300 yards. He was averaging about 5.6 yards a carry. This year, after 2 games, that's dropped way down to 4 yards. Marcelo Simmons and Kelvin Anderson will get to know each other in this game, but Calgary needs Anderson's support. They need him running the football.
Dickinson took a little too long. Looked like Rocco Romano might have moved a little early down there on the left side.
Illegal procedure. Calgary 59. First down repeated.
Rocco is playing in his 201st CFL game and didn't want to be singled out for that particular situation down there, but 201 games is a nice run, no doubt.
No question. Once you put that hand down and into a 3-point stance, you can't pick it up again.
1st and 15. Dickinson has been hot. Out across the 55. Travis Moore one more time, number 83, wrapped up by the middle linebacker, B.J. Gallus. That's the end of quarter number 1 with the Eskimos and the Stampeders in a seesaw battle on a perfect evening at McMahon. It's 12-10 after the opening 15.
You're watching the CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Brought to you by 1-800-HI-IT'S-ME. It's the cheapest way to call. Collect.
Hey, folks, how's it going? James Duthie along with Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz. Welcome to TSN Football Control. Biggest question mark this season was the Eskimos quarterbacking situation. Young guy. You can't replace the question mark with an exclamation point just yet. But, Chris, Nealon Green is fun to watch.
Oh, Nealon Green is very fun to watch. You know, one of the issues in the Canadian Football League is when is the young quarterbacks going to emerge to take care of the old guard, compete with the established players. Here, Nealon Green scrambles, makes plays on his own. The thing about him is he's exceptionally fast. Right now, no hesitation in his decision process. He knows he's going to make yards as he progresses down the field. But really, Matt, that was not the big play of the first quarter.
Scott McKenzie, unlikely suspect, takes a 2-point convert, surprises everybody early, and now he's looking in the backfield. The offense is struggling. McKenzie looks to take the ball, gets a short punt off. He realizes he's not being taken downfield. He introduces Donnie Ashley to the Canadian Football League. He's onside, scoops up the ball, and runs 40 yards for a very pivotal touchdown, James, early in the first quarter, keeping Calgary in the game.
And you know, Chris Schultz hates kickers, and even he liked that play. Now, there is one other game going on in the CFL tonight. In fact, it is finished. The Montreal Alouettes score 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns and come back to beat Winnipeg 30-18. We'll have full highlights of this one at halftime. For now, though, let us send you back to Calgary. Here are John and Glenn.
Wally Buono goes back a long way with Don Matthews. They hooked up against each other back in the Big Sky Conference in the 70s when Matthews was a coach at Idaho and Buono was a linebacker at Idaho State. They have great respect for each other. We had a good time at the news conference yesterday.
Yeah, it was, each guy had a chance to talk about the other guy's accomplishments.
Yeah. Now, do you think Wally was blowing a little too much smoke about Nealon Green telling Don how great a quarterback he was going to be? Well, I don't like it might have been a little bit of a setup.
Well, you certainly don't want to give the opposing team or coach any fuel. So at that point, day before the game, you're saying, gee, you have a good team over there.
You really do,
You really put together a nice squad.
Stampeders second down. Dickinson on the roll. He has Alan Pitts, first catch of the night. A big one down to the 40-yard line. He's wrapped up by the cornerback, Anthony Fogel. First quarter numbers brought to you by Castrol. Interesting there. 9 first downs for the Eskimos compared to 2 for the Calgary Stampeders, but it's close on the scoreboard.
Green already with 49 yards rushing after 1 quarter and doing what he did last week.
There are your stats for Castrol GTX. Drive hard. Stamps at the 40, first down. Kelvin Anderson flags her down, and Anderson is away. Dragged down by Chris Hardy. There's an offside we can hear down there.
Yeah, well, there's
23-yard game.
Edmonton 55.
Yeah, Eric Johnson. There was movement right in the middle of the line. It's Eric Johnson who's in the game replacing Doug Peterson. Peterson has a bit of a rib injury and couldn't play and dress for this game. So Eric Johnson out of Illinois State right there. You see him jump before the snap of the football. And so that was a free one for the Calgary Stampeders. Of course, they will take the play by Kelvin Anderson. He got a lot more yards than the penalty would have.
23 yards. 1st and 10. Eskimos at the Calgary at the Eskimos 17. Anderson ran into a stone wall of Eskimo defenders there. Chris Hardy finally forced him out.
I talked to Kelvin Anderson yesterday about not seeing the football very often in the first 2 weeks of the season. He said, you know, I'm starting to get a little frustrated, but I realize my role in the team has to be what Wally Buono wants it to be, and definitely not going to say anything. He's not going to make a big stink about it, but he said he sure would like to see the football more.
Well, Wally definitely wants it to be more than 16 carries for 67 yards in 2 games. Another marker down.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary 62. Second down.
Another undisciplined penalty by the Stampeders. Wally will be fuming a little bit because he gave us that lecture yesterday.
Jung-Yul Kim gets called on the unnecessary roughness. Wally said that he addressed the team after the BC game about the penalties. There were 32 penalties in that game, some of them very undisciplined. Penalties that happen after the fact, after the play, after the whistle. He said, from now on, I made it very simple for the team. If they get a penalty for unnecessary roughness after the whistle, they will be fined. It's going to hit him in the pocketbook. So Jung-Yul Kim paycheck is going to look a little lighter this week.
2nd and 24. Dickinson uses the shotgun and 4 receivers to the far side. He's not going to get it away. Down at the 40 and wrapped up by B.J. Gallus, number 98. Gallus has 1 sack to his credit so far in 99. That's number 2.
Sometimes it's a design play from B.J. Gallus, and we saw that earlier in the first quarter, how he went on a blitz and got involved in the pass rush. But sometimes it's just a great athletic play, and that last one was just good speed by B.J. Gallus, who used to be a member of the BC Lions, and at that time was just a defensive end, never played linebacker with BC.
Mark McLaughlin, 1 of 1 from 37 yards. This from 47. Spotted by Dickinson right there.
Hands, Jets, hands.
He's got it. Mark McLaughlin on target. The Stamps jump out in front by a point. What a great ball game we've got cooking in McMahon tonight. 12, and here's Nealon Green behind his intended receiver. Bobby Phillips, number 22, in his 2nd game, and Green was just a little bit off. Phillips might have been able to make the catch, though.
Well, what I found interesting about the play was that Phillips was lined up out there on Marvin Coleman. Now, this is what they did against Saskatchewan last week. They put their running backs way out wide. The way Saskatchewan played it was to go out with linebackers to cover those guys, and that's why Nealon Green had a lot of success. Now Calgary looks like it's going to keep their linebackers in there.
From the 35, markers down on 2nd and 10. Bond made the catch. He's short of the first down. But we'll check the infractions back near the line of scrimmage. William Hampton wrapped him up. The gain, if it stands, will be 7. And the Eskimos needed 10.
Well, the refs sorted out. Nealon Green sprints to the bench, get a little more instruction from Don Matthews, maybe a couple plays in a row, depending on what happens with the penalty.
Don Matthews thought it was just a logical step to wind up as the head coach of the Eskimos.
Illegal contact on the receiver, Calgary number 30. Offside, Edmonton number 31. 2nd down repeated.
So a washout there. Matthews began his coaching career in Edmonton in 1977, was the defensive coordinator for Hugh Campbell for the 5 Grey Cups in a row beginning in 1978.
And I think he would like to end his career in Edmonton.
But not too quickly. He figures he wants to coach for quite a few more years. From the 40, 2nd and 5. Nealon Green looks deep. Nice pass. Ashley couldn't bring it down. Tight coverage by Kyrie Williams, number 30.
With Eddie Davis out of the lineup and on the bench, icing his knee, Kyrie Williams gets a chance to play. He is a raw rookie out of Youngstown and had a great training camp. It's why he's on the roster, gets a chance to play. And And with Eddie Davis out, he's got the right under the fire.
Marvin Coleman back for a third down punt. Matt Kellett back at his 25 to kick for Edmonton. Coleman is the all-time leading punt returner in Stampeder history. Nice hole opened up. It parted like the Red Sea. And a 14-yard return for Coleman as we look over the beautiful turf here at McMahon Stadium. It's brand new. Here's Sherry Hargrave.
Yes, that's right. This $1.7 million for this new state-of-the-art AstroTurf here at McMahon Stadium, but the Stampeders say it's worth every cent of it for the safety of their players. See, the numbers and the lines, the yard lines, are not painted on like they are on most turfs. It's actually colored turf, so it's not slippery and it won't get hard over the years. As well, the turf is not supposed to be slippery when it rains outside. However, I don't think they'll have to test that theory today. Not a cloud in the sky.
Perfect night. Here's Dickinson near side, and the newcomer, the ex-Eskimo Marcus Dowdell, can't bring it down.
Marcus Dowdell, number 8.
Well, the stadium has been around a few years.
Yeah.
Since 1960, the artificial turf first installed in 1975, and price isn't bad. It's only gone up about $600,000 since they first put it in.
A bit of a bidding war went on this year to get this in here, I heard, and AstroTurf, a company in the States, won the war and did a real nice job. It looks fantastic here in Calgary, and there's a huge crowd to enjoy it.
2nd and 10. Dave Dickinson will come up short of the first down, except Marcus Dowdell broke the tackle. I thought he was stopped. He was in the grass for a second and got away. So it's a big first down for Dowdell, who dropped the previous catch. And he turns this into a 16-yard gain.
Marcus Dowdell is excited about this football game because he was released by Don Matthews, was very upset that he was released. Matthews said he just got beat out by Ed Hervey in that position. So when Marcus Dowdell had a chance to sign with the Calgary Stampeders and understands the rivalry, boy, he jumped at it.
Stampeders at the Eskimo 43, first down. Anderson turns the corner, and Kelvin Anderson has about 8 yards. Forced out on the far side by France Clarkson.
You know, talk about him not being involved much last week versus BC in their loss. In fairness to George Cortez, the offensive coordinator, and the Stamps, you know, they got behind early in that BC game, and Dave Dickinson really had to abandon the running game, and Kelvin Anderson knew it, so he became a blocking back throughout that football game. But Dave Dickinson, George Cortez, and Wally Buono all want him involved.
Anderson is halfway to 100. Stampeders looking at 2nd and 2. Anderson again. He won't get it this time. The play slow developing, and B.J. Gallus read it well and stuffed Anderson.
B.J. Gallus may just have found his natural position at the linebacking core. He's got great speed, 3 pressures versus the BC Lions. He plugs the hole and then uses pretty good speed to move to the outside. Good lateral movement to get out there and hold Kelvin Anderson short of the yardage.
B.J. Gallus in on the tackle, so was A.J. Gass. So the guys with the initials.
B.J. and A.J.
B.J. A.J. there.
Got Johnson and Johnson and B.J. and A.J. on the other team.
Try and keep them separate for you. Here's Mark McLaughlin. 2 for 2 tonight from 37 and 47. Definitely within range. Dickinson has it down. McLaughlin has it up and good. Stampeders pad the lead with a 43-yard field goal from Mark McLaughlin. Great doings in Calgary on CFL Live.
We got a game. We'll get you back to McMahon in just a moment or two. Let us bring you up to date in little baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays trying to sweep Cleveland in their 2-gamer, taking on the Tribe tonight at the Jake. The Indians aired on their lineup card. Alex Ramirez is forced out of the game. 2-man on. Darren Fletcher pulls it down the first baseline. Carlos Delgado's checked in, and that makes it 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Still 2-0. Homer Bush drives it to right. That scores Fletcher. That makes it 3-zip in favor of the Blue Jays. They go on to win the ball game by a score of 4-3. It really turned out to be a rather interesting ball game. Alex Ramirez forced out of the lineup. That meant that Charles Nagy actually had to bat for the Cleveland Indians, somewhat convoluted. The bottom line, though, in terms of the AL wildcard race, the Toronto Blue Jays, with their victory, combined with a Boston loss tonight, 5-2 to the Orioles, the Jays and the Red Sox are now tied for that wild card lead. We'll get you back to the football game after this.
What's taking them so long?
I guess you're it.
When the going gets tough, the tough get Canadian.
Go!
The weekend escape. Here's where we get Canadian.
Some question whether Terry Vaughn would be able to play or not tonight for the Edmonton Eskimos in his first game back to Calgary. He had an infection of the lymph nodes and was on antibiotics, but it was a pretty good bet that he was going to get into the lineup one way or the other to play the guys in red and white.
Yeah.
And he's there tonight. He's made an impact. 1st and 10 Edmonton after the field goal. Nealon Green can't find anyone open. Now steps up and does. He's got Scott Dybert. Markers are down as Dybert breaks the tackle. He'll go all the way. Scott Dybert into the end zone for the Eskimos. What a great play. 75 yards. Now, there's a marker down the field. However,
it's in the area of a late hit on Nealon Green. That's where the flag was thrown. But you know what? It's coming back.
I thought I picked it up after the reception was made.
Offensive pass interference. Edmonton 22. First down repeated.
Then again, I'm wrong.
Bobby Phillips, somewhere down the field, called on pass interference.
And Dybert heads back along with Bobby Phillips.
Well, the way the play was set up, it could have been the situation where there was a pick play downfield, and that's why Dybert got so wide open on it. The officials saw it, and not only will Don Matthews see that touchdown wiped off the board, but he's also now seen a whole lot of real estate lost.
75 yards, and it was really a terrific play.
The Calgary Stampeders first in football.
So back to the drawing board. Technically speaking, an 85-yard penalty. It's 1st and 20. Eskimos back at the 25. Nealon Green airs it out. Target far side. Catch is made by Ed Hervey. This guy really has speed, Glenn, making his debut during the regular season. Has 31 yards there.
31 yards and an
He was superb in the preseason and a track star at UCLA, so I guess that makes him quick.
Yeah, that'll make him quick if he's running track in college. Yeah, but he was penciled in. I mean, this guy was ready to go as the starter in game 1. Hurt himself that week in preparation and couldn't start the season. As soon as he was healthy, they wanted to see Ed Hervey.
Eskimos rolling near midfield. Green stands in, and he has Vaughn again. Vaughn turns the corner. That'll be another first down. Gain is 12 for Terry Vaughn, and Nealon Green looks very cool to me.
Well, and he's becoming a passer. In the first quarter, he just used his legs. He ran around a lot, and then this quarter, now he's all of a sudden become a passer. He's reading defense. He threw a nice shot in there to Ed Hervey. He actually looked off safety in that play, so he's starting to learn as the game progresses, and that's what the coach wants to see.
3 receivers to the far side of the field for Nealon Green. And 3 to the near side as well. Markers down as Green puts it up. sideline pattern, and Coleman tried to step in front of that, intended for Ed Hervey.
Hands ruled incomplete. Offside against the Eskimos.
From the offside Edmonton, you know, if Nealon Green comes away with points in this drive, I mean, there is some poise for a starting quarterback.
Offside. Edmonton number 3. Penalties decline. Second down.
Terry Vaughn there. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
But I mean, you think of the poise of Nealon Green. He throws a touchdown strike to Dybert that's called back. He's backed up way into his end of the field, and all of a sudden now, a couple of plays later, has moved the team back down the football and into scoring position.
Good on 8 of 12. Green thus far. Looking at 2nd and 10 here. And looking to put it up. Now he takes it down. And wisely eats the ball as he's wrapped up by Steve Anderson, 92.
Big play by Steve Anderson, and I'll explain why, because this is a formation that Nealon Green loves. This is what he used last week versus Saskatchewan. Here's what it looks like. They put the backs out on the outside. What happened in Saskatchewan is the linebackers went out and covered them in man-to-man. Now, right now, Calgary has been changing things up and keeping their linebackers a little tighter so they can help on the run. On that last play, they did move Alondra Johnson out here. They did move Jason Clement out here. That left a lot of room for Nealon Green to run around with the football, but Steve Anderson did a nice job of tracking him down.
Baker now to attempt a 49-yard.
John Baker, the barefoot kicker from Arizona. Now, this may be well and good in Arizona, but have you been to Alberta in November, John?
Heads up, heads up, heads up.
He's got it. John Baker nails his first CFL field goal, barefooted, into a bit of a breeze at McMahon. And it's a 1-point ball game again. Stamps on top, 16. John Baker 2 for 2 tonight. I suggested he'd made his first field goal, but that was his first long one of 49 yards. He had a chip shot of 12 earlier.
It was interesting yesterday in practice. John Baker, it was a very hot day here in Calgary when they went out to do their special teams practice, and the turf was very hot, especially the green area on the turf. He couldn't put that barefoot down on the turf because it was too hot. He had to stand in the little white lines in between.
He'll be carrying a towel. Brock Preston returning. And a nice one earlier. He just about squirted away that time, but he was wrapped up by Terry Ray. A couple of special teams tackles for him. Alan Pitts with just 1 catch thus far tonight. What a great career he's had in red and white.
Another 1,000-yard year last year, 1,300. And Alan Pitts in 1999 is never played, or in the first 2 weeks so far, hasn't played at 100% yet. He has a bit of a knee problem, something he got worked on in the offseason, and it really hasn't come around to where Alan Pitts would like it.
Pitts an All-Canadian 5 times, including last year. First down Calgary. Dickinson over the middle, and fittingly finds Alan Pitts, but well short of a first down. Wrapped up by Ken Watson.
And a hit like that,
Marcelo Simmons, sorry.
A hit like that from Marcelo Simmons is not going to help the knee out for Alan Pitts.
Closing in on an old pal of yours, Ray Elgard, is Alan Pitts.
Sure is. That's why they love Simmons. They know he can cover. He can stop the run, come up and hit you like he did on Pitts right there.
This will be 2nd and 7, Stampeders at the 36. A marker down. Dickinson almost went down too, and likely shouldn't have thrown that one. He got it through to Pitts, but Cavis Reed had an opportunity for an interception.
You know, Dave Dickinson last week versus the BC Lions did not rush the ball that effectively. He didn't run around a whole lot, but he avoided the rush very well. He's got very quick feet, not necessarily fast, but he's got quick feet. And against the Lions, they were all over him a bunch of times.
Calgary, no man, offside, Edmonton 92. Will repeat second down.
You know, it's one thing. I mean, quarterbacks sometimes are great runners like Nealon Green, and when we're seeing on the other side, it's the drop-back passer who has the ability to avoid the rush, and Dave Dickinson.
Offensive line playing better tonight, Glenn. Dickinson's looked a little cooler back there. and had more time. Shotgun, 2nd and 7. Travis Moore, and fought hard for a first down. Terry Ray wrapped him up. He needed 7, he picked up 9.
Well, I got to say congratulations to Travis Moore, who just had a new son. Here's Travis Moore right here. His name is